We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Ooh boy, did I have a lot of fun with this. Hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you for watching another one of my episodes towards Awesome Joe's awesome movie reviews. And I just came back from watching Thor Ragnarok. It was such an awesome movie. It's one that you did not really expect out of a Thor movie, because you know, you got your first Thor movie, which was a great success, and then you had the second one, which was kind of an okay film, and then they changed it up a lot. Maybe because of the fact that because of Guardians of the Galaxy, that they decided to take things a little bit differently with the third Thor movie, because they did not really know what they were gonna do with the next movie, and so they came together and they went right ahead and came up with what we have today, which is Thor Ragnarok. It was such an awesome movie. I had a lot of fun. I even had a lot of fun with the ones that won the contest and was able to join me to go into watching this movie, Miss Maritza and Miss Sonia. So thank you guys so much for having to come and watch this movie with me. It was so great. I'm glad you guys had a great time, because I know I did as well. So I want to go ahead and get started here and give you guys a non-spoilers review. Just because it came out in theaters, I'm throwing out a non-spoilers review and giving you guys the chance to go and watch this movie before even ever having to find out what happens with this new movie from Marvel. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here today, you guys. So Thor Ragnarok, we got the return of Chris Hemsworth playing the role of Thor. Last time we saw him, he was in Age of Ultron, and then we got a little secret scene of him popping up at the ending credits of Doctor Strange. And so that gave us a little bit, or actually a whole bunch of curiosity as to what it is that's going to be having Doctor Strange and Thor coming together into the next Thor movie. So, but we're going to get to that here in just a little bit. So first of all, it starts off with Thor. He's captured and he's chained up, and he's introduced to this new villain, and it's, you know, a big devilish flaming guy with big horns and all that stuff. But the first thing that you would not even expect out of a Thor movie is the fact that they did take things, they turned it all around. Instead of making it a serious Marvel superhero movie, they actually made it into a comedy. And I never would have expected for Thor to be this big, buffy, manly, muscular, you know, serious guy, but actually turns out to be one of the funny comedic performances of the whole MCU. Yes, I know we get a lot of comedic performances with several different characters throughout the whole universe, but Thor, it's changed for him. He's no longer the serious type, but becoming more of the more funnier type. And he threw a lot of that into this, and it wasn't at all annoying, but it was actually more entertaining and funny. And so I enjoyed it so much. It was such an amazing performance from him, and so many other different characters throughout the movie. And we're gonna get to those in just a second here, because I mean, wow, Thor was just amazing in this movie. I can't wait to see more of him in Infinity War, and hopefully in more Thor movies, hopefully in the future. Now, last time when we saw Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, who has returned to this, he was portraying Odin, and we didn't even know what really happened to Odin at the ending. I mean, all we know is that he was being portrayed by Loki, who was supposed to be dead but actually is still alive. And so it's so funny that we get to see Loki here, and he's ruling Asgard but as Odin, and Thor returns back to Asgard, and he sees that Loki, he's reigned over Asgard but as Odin mostly, and pretty much giving out a ceremonial tribute to him for his sacrifice of saving Asgard and the whole entire universe, or the 9 realms to be exact. And it's so funny because we do get some special cameos from Matt Damon and Sam Neill being in this play, portraying a scene that was put into the second Thor movie, The Dark World. So that was pretty funny. I mean, it was so great. And but it, like I said, it also brings us back to the question as where is Odin? We've been asking ourselves this question ever since we saw the ending to The Dark World back in 2013. It's already been 4 years, and now we're like, okay, where the heck is he? What's going on? What happened with him? So it brought a very minor to be concluded situation situation happening, a cliffhanger to the ending of The Dark World. It brought us into wanting more of that. And so, but really a little piece of it was only part of the movie. Because while Thor and Loki are on this little minor quest of finding their father, they stumble across a different Marvel character, which is, of course, Dr. Stephen Strange. And that's what brings us to the end credit scene of Doctor Strange, of a conclusion, to see what it was that brought these two together. So what pretty much is that Thor and Loki, they were pretty much in Doctor Strange's territory. And so Doctor Strange is like, what are you guys doing here? And you have no business here, and go back to where you guys came from. And Thor, he's more like, okay, well, you know what, we'll be out of your hair as long as you help us find our dad, and we'll be on our way. And so he says, okay, sure, fine, I'll go ahead and do that for you. So in a couple of seconds, there's some minor humor in that sequence, to where they keep on teleporting from one part of the building to the other part of the building, and so it's just so funny. And lo and behold, he finds them and he teleports them to the place where Odin is at, and that's pretty much it. I mean, and it was such a great little sequence, because remember, this is not Doctor Strange's movie. This is not even the Hulk's movie. It's Thor's movie, and it was just so great having to see Doctor Strange again, because I wasn't a big fan of the movie Doctor Strange, but I really did love the character a lot, and I'm really excited to see more of him, especially in Infinity War as well. So I'm really excited about that. And which Odin, he's already at his part of already passing. He's already done. His life is pretty much done with, and he's weak. And there's a secret to him that is revealed, stating that his power is weakening for that way he is passing, and he's no longer strong enough. And we are introduced to none other than the very beautiful and very talented Cate Blanchett. And for her age, she is remarkably gorgeous and also a very talented actress. She is one of the best, and she brought her best out of this performance as playing Hela, the first female villain in the MCU. And she did a magnificent job, and pretty much of who she is. She is the long-kept secret from Odin, the oldest sister of both Thor and Loki. So she is pretty much the rightful heir of Asgard, and so she takes over Asgard, and she gets Thor and Loki banished from Asgard into this other world, to where Thor is captured, and he's put into this arena, and and it's funny because we didn't know that he was going to be included into all these other different characters, because we have so many of the original Thor characters from the previous two films that we are introduced to even more characters in this one, which is pretty much expanding the universe even more and more and more, which is so exciting, because there's so much more to the Marvel storyline, that and so many characters to introduce, that they're actually doing that. They're moving forward and leaving behind the older characters, which is very disappointing to me, because there were some of the characters that I did admire within the Thor movies, and like, say, for example, Natalie Portman, Jane Foster's character, and they did a little bit of a scene there stating that, okay, well, they broken up, they didn't say why or anything, but really nobody really even cared, because there was no chemistry between the two. And I would have really liked to have seen at least a little bit of how, as to the reason why. I mean, for example, personally, I did care a little bit, because sometimes I like to get a little bit of an exemplatory as to what's going on with all these different characters. And then we have, of course, Kat Dennings. I didn't like Kat Dennings. I really did not. She's a great actress, don't get me wrong. She did bring some humor within the movies, but pretty much they were seeming very annoying, and her character wasn't really that important to continue on forward with. And like Skarsgård, Selvig, he's not in the movie either. He's really very much in the Thor movies, but he wasn't in this one, because there's really no further point as to their characters being involved in this anymore. There's no part of there being any science included into this, and we wanted to see more of Thor's world, more than having to have him experience his time on Earth. And so we are introduced to several others, like Jeff Goldblum, for example. brought a lot of humor to the movie. He did an excellent performance. I love Jeff Goldblum. I'm one of his greatest fans. I love him in all of his movies. He does great. They got a really great cast. I mean, it's such an amazing movie. And of course, we get the return of Idris Elba. They didn't get rid of Idris Elba being Heimdall in this movie because he does really great. He's one of today's top great actors. I did get rid of the Warriors 3. Lady Sith wasn't in it. Jamie Alexander's character wasn't in it. I don't know why, but the Warriors 3, in an instant, they right away killed them off. I mean, I like those characters, but I guess like how they said that they're gonna move forward and get rid of the older ones and introduce some new ones, so that way the universe won't seem so crowded, which I highly understand. But really, did you have to kill them off? I mean, they could have just moved on and moved forward, or I don't know. It was just, I mean, I thought that was just a cheap card to use. And so within this movie, it's kind of introducing Thor into more of a more meaningful character, having to see what Thor's meaning is within the whole MCU and the meaning of his power, because the hammer itself is destroyed. And I love that there's a line that Odin tells Thor that, are you the god of the hammers or are you the god of thunder? So it's really explaining that Thor's power doesn't come from the hammer itself, but it comes within him because he is called the god of thunder. So I really did like that. It was a very great line that he gave to him, and which gave him more of a huger meaningful part in this whole universe. So it was really great. There were some special surprises that were brought into this that weren't even included into the trailers or into movie newses as to how this movie was going to go forward with. So it was very interesting having to see that. I'm just letting you guys know, at the ending of the movie, you will not recognize Thor for who he was to who he is now. And on Rotten Tomatoes, they rated it a 94%. And like I said, great movie, very funny. I had a great time, and the ones that joined me to see this movie, they had a great time as well. I'm really happy that we all got to enjoy this movie so much. So 94% for Rotten Tomatoes, and for me, I'm going to have to agree with it and put it down a little bit to a 90%. An awesome rating still, very awesome. That's an A+ there. It's a great movie, 90%. Maritza and Sonia rated it a 10 or 100%, which is, you know, that's their ratings. But for me, my rating was a 90% straight. So it was a great movie, had a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see what Infinity War is going to be bringing, or Black Panther when it comes out in February. MCU is getting bigger. There's so much more that there's going to be brought to the table. So I'm really excited for it. I hope that you guys are too. I mean, come on, it's the MCU. It's already going to be 10 years since this whole franchise first started with the very first Iron Man movie. So great movie, great time. What did you guys think? You can always comment in the section down below, and we can have a great conversation regarding towards this movie or any movie in particular that you guys would like to talk about. So there you have it, my review for Thor Ragnarok. I'm having a upcoming another sweepstakes coming up for Justice League, and then I'm having another one coming out for Star Wars The Last Jedi. So excited about those two movies. I can't wait. I have a sweepstakes out right now for Justice League, and coming soon would be Star Wars The Last Jedi. And you guys are so awesome. Thank you guys for inspiring me and having to do these videos. It's a great personal hobby of mine. I love doing it so much. I love talking about movies, and more importantly, I love talking about it with you guys. And I'm so excited to see you guys at the movies, and I'm so excited to see you guys on my next videos. Thank you guys for being awesome, and just don't forget to like my pages, my pages on both Facebook and on YouTube. Subscribe and continue to comment, continue to participate in my sweepstakes, because it means a great deal to me and to my fans and my pages. So thank you guys so much, and as always, you guys stay awesome. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Thanks guys. Bye.